This podcast has content that may be distressing to some listeners. Be sure to check the description below for content warnings. And now, a poem in the style of William Shakespeare. Hark, dear listener, and lend thy careful ear, for tales we tell may bring thee joy or tear. Perchance our words may pierce thy tender heart, or stir old wounds as shadows oft impart. Yet fret thee not, for thou art free to stray, or linger here and choose the thoughtful way. Guard well thy soul, take heed and tread with care, for words once spoken linger in the air.
I grab one of these flaming torches from a kid in the front row, and I just like shove it into the Gatorade bottle, and then I just took the hard-boiled egg and I just slammed it in, and then I'm like, put out the fire!
Jordan? Where's Jordan? Okay, listen. I guess I'm gonna have to do this podcast solo today because I don't know where my host is.
I think what you meant to say is you rigged this challenge to force me to be the pineapple host with the most. And a fresh box that isn't cold of pizza with pineapple on it.
I don't think you guys understand how excited I am that Jordan has to sit and do this
we all
entire
know how excited
episode.
We know that
not just with me, but we have guests today.
Stop.
We have an administrator.
We have whoa, hold on. Gosh, I'm gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, this is what happens. Is my big mouth gets me into dumb things like this.
So Jordan,
Yeah.
in his big mouth, we had an episode a while back where he was claiming that anchovies belong on pizza.
Yes, they do.
They do not.
I am insulted by the lack of anchovy support.
I don't know how you could be insulted when anchovies are so salty.
Shut up.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I
did
one.
like that one.
Anywho.
That's a good joke.
Thank you. But they don't belong on pizzas.
They absolutely do. I'm going to contest this and fight this.
Well, you've already lost.
We're taking it to the Supreme Pizza Court.
Where's the Supreme Pizza Court?
Where's
the SPC? Where are they located? I need to know.
New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess New York City, if you're located in New York City, go ask someone from a really famous pizza place in there, do anchovies belong on pizza, and let us know.
They're going to tell you yes.
I don't know. I've had New York pizza, and nary have I seen an anchovy on said slice. So I disagree.
Liar.
I disagree.
You're a liar. But as
part of your punishment.
I was going to say, as part of the deal, it is not enough.
Not a deal. As part of your punishment.
As part of my punishment, I am not allowed to just only wear the pineapple costume. I also have to eat a dreaded piece of pizza with pineapple on it.
That's definitely not 3 hours old.
Yeah, it's definitely not cold. So, as you see here, I have a very nice box of pizza from a nondescript location.
And I love that our producer was like, did you at least get a pizza place you enjoy?
No,
like,
I did not get one that...
We chose a chain restaurant because our area is, like, we have very good pizza in our area. So, like, if you're getting pizza, you don't order it from a chain restaurant. You get it from one of the family-owned businesses. And so we ordered from a chain restaurant this time to make it extra punishing.
So I did make sure for me to order thin slice.
What kind did you get? Did you just put cheese and pineapple?
And marinara sauce. I made it. Yeah.
Okay. I would have thought you would have gotten like a Hawaiian pizza.
The specification was that we said was a pizza with pineapple on it.
Right,
So.
but like if you're going to do it,
No,
like at
because
least I
that's a
thought you would have made it
Hawaiian
less.
pizza. That's a Hawaiian pizza.
Right, but it has pineapple. So I'm saying I thought you would have at least made it less miserable for you.
No, it's a punishment.
Okay.
See, it's not that I don't like I love pineapple. Pineapple's like one of my favorite fruit. I just don't like it on pizza.
Well,
so
now's the time.
For our audio listeners, we have a very it's a little cold, sad looking pizza. It would be happy looking if it was warmer and fresh out the oven. It's because it's been sitting around for 3 hours because this is when we got to this challenge. So we're going to dive in. All right. Is this technically a mukbang now?
I guess.
All right. Here's cheers to my pineapple homies in Bruges.
I didn't see pineapple touch your lips. Is there pineapple on that bite?
There were.
Please.
I feel like I can't talk.
Speak to us with your mouth full of pizza.
I don't like the combination of like the pineapple-y flavor with the tomato.
Well, that's because I don't know if people actually get pineapple with marinara sauce, which is why I was trying to say.
That was on the Hawaiian pizza.
They had marinara sauce on the Hawaiian pizza?
Yes, at least this place did.
Oh. I don't know. I honestly have never gotten a Hawaiian pizza, so I don't know what sauce usually goes on it. If it were me, I feel like I would have done like a barbecue chicken and added pineapple on top. That would have been really good. Because barbecue and chicken go together, and then I feel like the pineapple would just be like a nice little refreshing bite on top.
So I took my second bite. It does not get better. Like I was thinking for a second there, I was like, all right, we got through the first bite. Bite number 2, it'll improve.
I was really hoping that you would like eat this and realize that you actually loved it.
No. What it makes me want, I don't know why. What it makes me want is olives to replace it. Because it kind of has like a similar texture to olives, like the cooked pineapple.
I can see that.
But it's disappointing because it's not salty. But
instead of like salty, it's fruity.
Yeah.
Well, while you continue eating your pizza, I'm going to let our lovely listeners know who we have on the show today as you suffer through that pizza.
Who's going to eat the rest of this pizza? I did make sure to order this. I haven't eaten the whole pizza?
No, you do not have to eat the whole pizza. I don't know. We'll find someone who likes pineapple pizza and give it to them.
Eric and Jake are coming over after this. So.
Okay, they can eat it.
Yeah, we'll definitely. Jake will eat this.
Yeah, for sure.
So I wanted to make sure this wasn't going to waste. I feel bad.
All right, guys. So today we have Principal Lam and his wife Brenna on the show. We're super excited to have them. They are awesome. If you've seen any of Principal Lam's videos, you already know who I'm talking about. He is the principal on a cart in his school, rolling around, making a difference. So we are going to be right back with Principal Lam. But in the meantime, while we're on a little break, I want you guys to immediately dash down to the comments if you're on YouTube or literally anywhere where you can comment and let us know what challenge we should do next. What is the next thing that we should punish Jordan with?
No.
Sorry, hold on.
I want a fair fight.
What is the next thing that we should fairly challenge?
I see you winking, ma'am. I see you winking.
If you have any ideas, we would love to hear your challenge ideas because I need more costumes in Jordan's life.
I would love just a plethora of just dumb costumes I've had to wear over the filming of this podcast. Yeah.
I want a rack in my basement with all kinds of costumes on it.
It would be funny if I did lose every single contest.
Yes, I would appreciate
it's not going to happen.
More of these.
No.
So let us know down below and we'll be right back with the Lambs. All right, guys, we are so excited because today we have our very first principal on the podcast.
Yes.
We've never had a principal before.
I know. I'm excited about this.
I'm honored to be the first.
Yeah, Yay. Thank you for being here. We have Jared and Brenna Lam, and they are, from how you describe each other, a power couple in my eyes. So tell us a little bit about yourselves.
So we are the parents of 3 wonderful children, and I, of course, spend my days rolling around on my principal cart at school, and my wife is a fabulous COO.
Yeah, when Jared and I just first met each other, he was the principal, and I was working sort of on the business ops side of education, and he really sort of said, if it's not police officer, fireman, or teacher, I don't really understand the job. So I try not to spend too much time talking about work, but I work in philanthropy, as he described. And so
that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun because our kids actually go to his school. So that's actually been pretty wonderful too.
That's really cool. Yeah, you mentioned the cart, of course, that you're famous for. And you actually I know of another teacher that just became an assistant principal who took a page out of your book and actually is using a cart also instead of being, stationed in their office all the time, which I think is so cool. I mean, obviously you're making an impact. But I actually am in my second master's degree right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'll graduate in May with my admin license
Awesome.
and my degree. So, I'm here for all the tips and all the advice.
The first matter of business is you got to find a cart.
Yeah. I'm going to start looking. I'm going to look for a good one. Lots of storage.
I can send you some recommendations. Actually, no, I actually don't. People ask me on my social media channels, like, what would be a good cart? And it's actually like, I'm actually really embarrassed. Like, I have like the worst cart. Like I didn't go into this like trying to like show off this cart. I went for just being functional. And so I literally, when I first started rolling through my school, I just grabbed like the cart that was at the end of the hallway with dust on it. And so it rattled, it squeaks. Like we'll film videos for social media on the weekend, and like we can never have any audio when I'm actually rolling the cart because the cart, you can't hear anything but the cart.
I feel like we should send him to like an episode of like Pimp My Ride.
Well, that's what I was going to say I think this is the perfect business opportunity is to develop your own cart. Like,
custom carts.
Yeah, the Principal Lam approved cart.
This is true, but I need some help with that because I am clearly not a model for a great cart.
That is amazing. So what was the vibe when you started doing that? Did you get like some side eyes or like were people just like, that's Principal Lam?
I think so. I first started doing it. So I first started doing it at the school that I'm currently working at I started rolling the cart as I started working at this new school 3 years ago. And so people were just kind of looking at me like, who's this new guy and now he's saying he's doing a cart. Like, so everyone was always like, people just started looking at me like I was a complete weirdo. And then when I announced that I was going to roll a cart, then they were like, okay, yeah, he's even more weird than we thought. But it was met with like a lot of like cynicism. Like there was actually another administrator on our team who was like, this is going to last a week, who like straight up told me that. And so here we are 3 years later, I haven't stopped rolling.
But it's really funny. As long as I have known you, you have spent like max 30 minutes per day, maybe per week in your office. He's just not that guy. He used to like collect mountains of papers, books, and confiscated objects from students. That's all his office was really good for.
So it actually like has helped me because like now I don't have like a place to just throw all my crap.
No, well.
Oh no!
Except the stuff that I shove in my school bag.
Okay, I'm guilty of just shoving things in my school book bag.
Oh, absolutely.
Random stuff, and then I'll go looking for it, and I don't know where it is, and I find it like a year later when I clean out the book bag.
I'm guilty of the same.
Very guilty of that.
Yeah, it's because I'm type A. I'm very type A. My classroom is the same way. I like everything organized. I don't like having loose papers laying all over the place. But like there are some times when you have papers you have to put somewhere, but there's nowhere for it to go. So where does it go?
A folder.
In the school bag. It goes in the book bag. And just that's where it gets housed. I totally understand where people are coming from, like they're being like cynical of you being on a cart and trying to do something different, because I feel like I had a similar experience at my school when I was like one of the first classrooms to do like flexible seating.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a seating, like I don't have a seating chart. My kids like get to pick their seats. They can move when they want. Like And I remember having, a colleague that was just like, that's so weird. That'll never work. Like the kids are going to get out of control. And it's just like until they saw it in motion and saw it actually working in the classroom and how I was doing it. And then it started to click and make sense to them. So I'm sure people at your school now, it's like totally the norm. And it's just Principal Lam rolling down the hall with his cart. And it's probably an odd day when you're not on the cart.
That's like the weird thing. Is like, so now it is like the opposite. It's just like, it's just part of my daily routine and people will get used to it. And so now it's like, if there's ever a morning where like something comes up and I don't make my morning rounds and I'm not rolling, like I'll have teachers come up and like, where have you been? Where's the cart? like people will legit ask me that.
Yeah. And also your whole admin team, now you're in year 2, your entire admin team is on wheels too. So it's just become like the norm that
so we're like all rolling around. We have all of our administrators rolling around.
Wait a minute. You got the whole admin team in on this?
Yeah, I couldn't get them to. So I have like no office. Like the cart is my legit office. I don't have a desk. It's the cart for me. I couldn't convince all of our administrators to go officeless. So they have a home base. However, I am very happy that they all are successfully rolling around the building. And I think our teachers love it too. Like our teachers, like there is never, you really can't walk down a hallway without seeing an administrator either down the hall or around the corner, just because everyone's out and present.
And I feel like our kids who are students at the school know more of the administrators as well. They literally just see them in the hallways all the time.
100%.
I think that's so cool. Just because I remember when I was in elementary school and middle school and all that, like our principals were very much the behind the desk, like hidden away, and you never really had a relationship with them. And that's just like,
if you did see them, that wasn't for good reasons.
Yeah,
so
like you were afraid.
Yeah, you never wanted to see the principal, and I feel like a lot of schools are somewhat still like that, and like administrators, and it's not always like a choice. Even sometimes I feel like sometimes they're like, okay, my school, we are a really tiny district and we have one elementary principal and one middle school principal. So like there's only 2 administrators in the whole building and they're in charge of everything. So it's like, okay, maybe they want to get out and go to the classrooms, but then this happens and they can't. And then this happens and then they have a meeting. So it's really like, how do you balance all of the, I guess, bureaucratic work that goes along with being a principal and also being visible to your students and staff? Because that's something that I feel like is really important in a school environment, is being able to see administrators in a good light and not only when something negative happens.
Yeah, I think it's something that I really grapple with because, again, there's always that pressure of, I got to respond to this email. I got to take care of this compliance paperwork. Like that stuff is always kind of in the back of my head, just and on my to-do list. I think what I recognize is that, like, as a principal, like the number one thing I can do that I think I can do is support the faculty and staff. And my belief behind that is if I support the faculty and staff, then I'm empowering and enabling them to do the best work with students. And so for me, it's like all that other stuff, though, the behind the scenes stuff, it still needs to get done. But I think earlier in my career, I just let that stuff just like take over my day. So I was the principal. I was the invisible principal because I was in my office all day and I was responding to emails and doing all the things behind the desk. And so I was actually at a school where like teachers started to leave the school and the staff satisfaction and morale was low. And so I realized that there's changes that I needed to make. And so I just kind of put my stake in the ground on, I got to really work on being present, being visible. And so the biggest thing for me is I just plan around it. So like in the first hour of my day, I spend walking the campus. So like our school secretary knows, like if someone's trying to reach out to Principal Lam, like we're gonna let that person know that he's not available for the first hour. And so because I'm committed to just doing the morning rounds, checking in with all our faculty and staff members. So for me, it's really a big part of it has just been scheduling. I think in the beginning, I would go into the day and see what happens. Which way is the wind going to blow? And now I'm a lot more protective of my time and how I'm utilizing it.
I think that's a really good tip because it's, if you make the time to be around the classrooms and be around the teachers and students, then it's going to happen. And if you prioritize the paperwork over the people, then that's where things I think definitely get put on the back burner, I guess. So that makes total sense.
And you've talked about by being more present, you actually are able to preempt more as well. Like you see issues developing and sort of you're not having to be on the back foot. You're able to like actually proactively solve with educators and with teachers and staff.
I think that's a part of it too, is that like sometimes is because people often look at it as like, oh, well, you're not doing X, Y, and Z if you're rolling around on your cart. But I think Brenna brings up a great point, is that part of it is about allows me to be more proactive. So there are certain student situations where I actually see it unfolding before it breaks out into a bigger situation, or a teacher's really frustrated about something, but I'm checking in with the teacher at 7:45 in the morning. So I'm able to troubleshoot the situation so it doesn't blow up into a huge thing at 9:30 because we've already talked about it when I did my walk around the building and walk into that person's room.
Yeah. I think that's a great strategy because so many things, even like just from a teacher's perspective, like I feel like we do that in the classrooms all the time. We see something unfolding in front of our eyes and we try to get a handle on it before it becomes a bigger issue. And, as an admin, walking around and doing that for teachers, I'm sure takes so much stress off of them and is so supportive because I've been at both schools. I've been at the school where the admin was amazing and was always there for you, always had your back and, would support you with whatever you needed, cared about your personal life, cared about your well-being as a human. And then I've been at the other school where, the admin is kind of just there to be your overlord and not really care about you as a human or, hope that you're doing well, just, making sure you're getting those spreadsheets in on time. So it definitely makes a difference. And I'm sure, I've seen in all your videos, your staff seems to love you. Your teachers seem amazing. So I love your school. I have never even been there.
You got to come visit. Lauren.
I will. Yeah, for sure. I would love to. That'd be so fun. I'll bring Pineapple Man with me.
Yeah, why not?
He will be a huge hit. I can already tell.
You have to do a song and dance for the kids.
You know what? I don't think it's going to be a hard of ask. I think I want to do it. So,
and we'll bring some non-anchovy pizzas.
Yes.
Now I'm sad.
No, non-anchovy pizzas. So I have to know, like, what is the most chaotic thing that has ever happened during a school day where, like, in the moment you were like, oh my God, this is a disaster, but now you can kind of look back and laugh at it?
Jared was an educator down in New Orleans for 20 years, so there are quite a few stories.
Oh no.
I have, there's a lot to draw on. One of the more recent stories that I have is that we had, so we were doing an assembly in celebration of the Chinese New Year. So we had all these, and this was actually when I just started working out at the current school that I'm working at. And it was our first school-wide assembly. So at that point, we had K through 8th grade and probably about 750 students. And we brought everyone into the gym, and this is our first school assembly. And I did a horrible job at preempting and explaining like assembly etiquette and how we're going to conduct ourselves in the assembly. And the kids were great. Like that. So we get in and they're sitting down on their lines and they're doing an awesome job. And the challenge was though that then as part of this Chinese New Year celebration, they bring in these enormous dragons, and it's people coming out in costume, and so the kids just start running up to the dragons because they're so excited by it. And I found myself, I'm like trying to like shield the dragon from the kids who are like all just like running up. So it was actually really sweet. Like the students were like so excited and like here, but I find I'm having like stiff arm, like the kindergartner who's like trying to run up to like tackle the dragon. So it was, we were able to bring back the peace, but it was touch or go there for a little while.
Oh my gosh!
See, here I thought you were going to talk about the time you almost burned down your classroom on day one.
Well, now
okay, I was going to say. Now we got to hear that
about
one.
the dragon bodyguard, but I need to know about this burning down the classroom.
All right, yeah, I almost never even made it to day two. Yeah, much less this whole dragon experience. No, it was my first week of teaching. And
like ever.
Like I'm a new, okay. I'm a first year teacher. So I'm teaching 10th grade biology. I'm teaching at a public school in New Orleans. And so I went in just like with this mindset of like, I'm just going to be the fun teacher. I'm going to make the lessons so awesome. And like everyone was telling me as a first year teacher, they're like, oh, you can't smile to Christmas. You got to come in with the rules and expectations. And I'm like, no way. Like we're having fun right out of the gate. And so we came up with this experiment. Well, I came up with this experiment. I'm doing a demonstration for the students. And so I have like one of these, it's a 62-ounce Gatorade bottle that I have. And so the way this demonstration works is you take a peeled hard-boiled egg and you put some paper towel inside to the Gatorade bottle. You light the paper towel on fire, and then you put the peeled hard-boiled egg on top of the bottle. And the smoke then consumes the oxygen, so the egg gets sucked into the bottle. So,
I've done that one before.
You've done it. All right. So,
yes, I've done that one before.
So hopefully yours was more successful than mine, Jordan. 'Cause like
we did not burn down my high school, so we did well.
So I'm like, so again, it's my initial days of teaching. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna do this awesome experiment. The kids are gonna love it. And so we get into it's my last period class, which for the record, I have 36 students, 33 boys in the classroom. So I was way over my head. I'm trying, and I realized like mid demo that I have one of those lighters with like the what is it? Like it's one of those like automatic like lighters that you have, right?
Like the click lighters.
Like the click lighters, yeah. And so I use the click light. So I realized that when you get smoke into the barrel of the click lighter, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so I initially lit the paper towel, but the flame goes out, and so now I have smoke in the barrel, and so it's not working. And so I can't. So this whole demo is like blowing up in my face. We have the AC is not working in the room, so like I have like these armpit stains that are like growing, and I'm getting increased, like I'm dripping in sweat. I'm getting increasingly nervous, and
you have an audience of teenagers,
and
which makes it worse.
Yes.
Mostly teenage boys.
Yes.
Oh,
and
everything is going wrong,
and well, everything's going wrong, and then it just goes even more wrong because then what happens? We have students who start taking out like their notebooks. It's like, again, the second or third day of school. So students are like taking out like their brand new notebooks, and they start making these like torches out of like their notebook paper. And so several of the kids in the class have lighters. And so they actually start lighting, and like one kid does it, and then another kid.
They just whipped out their lighters in the middle of
class. The middle of class. And again, I'm like day 3 of teaching. So I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I can't, like no one taught. And then in my teacher preparation programs, they didn't tell me about how to handle lighters being brought out in the middle of class. So, so literally the kids are lighting these torches and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm not even going to survive my first week on the job. I'm going to be fired. Oh. And so I grab one of these flaming torches from a kid in the front row, and I just like shove it into the Gatorade bottle. And then I just took the hard-boiled egg and I just slammed it in. And then I'm like, put out the fire, put your stuff away. Like it's over. The demo is over.
Oh my God.
So we barely survived.
I'm sure all those 10th graders, even years later, are still talking about it.
Yes.
I'm sure they are, because I was the teacher who was crazy enough to do an experiment and have it go completely awry.
Listen, I've seen so many experiments on TikTok that I dare never try in my classroom, so you're better than me. I don't have that kind of confidence. I teach science as one of my subject areas, and in 5th grade, like we are tested in 5th grade science in Ohio. Yes. So like we tried to incorporate experiments as best we can, but never will I ever introduce a flame to a 10-year-old.
Oh my God. There is a certain kind of bravery like high school science teachers have, because I remember the experiments. Like when I was in high school, I did like college in high school. So I was taking college courses my last 2 years of high school, and I took chemistry. And I just remember the one day, like our teacher came up. He's like, all right, we're going to be using hydrochloric acid. Do not get this on your skin. It's going to eat through it. And like just this idea of giving like fresh teenagers access to these kind of chemicals is just, oh my God, that's so scary.
Oh my, that would give me so much anxiety.
I remember as a student in my 10th grade chemistry class, in our textbook, they had a picture of like this massive explosion when you mix potassium and water.
Yeah. And
so I just remember my entire 10th grade year, I just remember hassling our chemistry teacher, like, can you put potassium and water together? Can you put, and like literally we would ask him every single day to the point where he just got frustrated and was like, you know what? We're going to fume hood, potassium and water. It's going down.
Yes.
And he did it?
He actually legit did it. And it exploded. It was an explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was under the fume hood. It was much safer than having students pull torches out in the middle of the third day.
See, I feel like when I took chemistry in high school, I don't recall it being that dramatic. Like, I don't recall having like access to these crazy chemicals. Like, I'm sure we had, what'd you say?
It was hydrochloric acid.
Yeah. I remember doing experiments, but they were like so mild. I feel like it was like, put this drop of this in here and watch the color change and like
make rock candy.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It was like what was the gummy bear one? There's like a gummy bear experiment. You put I forget what it is. It's like you put a gummy bear with something else and it like makes the flames all different colors. Like we did that experiment.
Yeah, try that one.
Yeah.
The one I really enjoyed was the elephant toothpaste one. Did you ever?
I've seen it. I've never done that one.
Oh, I love that one. That one's a lot of fun.
See,
how does that one work?
I forget the specifics of it. Like you could Google it, but essentially you have these chemicals you put together and it shoots out like this foam. Like it's just a geyser of foam and everything. That's why it's called elephant toothpaste. And it's just really fun to just like watch it. Cause you start with it's just like a couple like liquids in like a beaker essentially. And then it just like explodes
outward. Have you seen videos of when people do it in like Home Depot buckets?
Yeah.
Or like they'll do it in like a kiddie pool. They'll put it together and it like, it grows. Like, so one person, I remember seeing this on YouTube somewhere. Someone did it in like, I don't even know how many gallon barrel, like the big barrel, like oil barrels almost. They did it in like 10 of those all put together. Yeah, and it like took over their entire backyard. It was, I'm like, but how do you get rid of it once you make it?
I don't know. We didn't do it in that amount of quantity.
brush an elephant's teeth with it.
Oh, shut up.
You fell right into that one. Man, okay, so like my background is mainly in like language arts and like the social studies realm, but because I teach at like a smaller district and I teach all subject areas in 5th grade, like I have fallen in love with science and math over the past couple of years.
Yes.
Just having more experience getting to teach it because like the kids don't really, up until that age level, they don't get like a dedicated science time, So for them to have like a full hour of the day dedicated to like learning about like ours is the solar system and ecosystems and forces in motion and doing all kinds of experiments, they like lose their minds over science. They love it. We just did these little biome boxes, so they all made little dioramas at home and brought them in. They were so cute.
Aww.
So I love doing that kind of stuff. That's so fun.
That is awesome.
Do you ever miss being in the classroom?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
But you're always in there, so.
I'm in there a lot. I think like, but it's one of the things that like I also prioritize too is like finding opportunities to still be in the classroom. So for example, like last school year, I taught a 6th grade math class for actually a couple months. And even throughout my tenure as a principal, like there was a couple of years where I taught an 8th grade math class throughout the whole course of the entire school year. And so I think that it does two things. One, I got into this work because I love teaching, and I don't think there's anything that beats like that direct connection that you make. It's different as an administrator. Even it's part of the reason why I do, why I go mobile, so I can have those interactions with students, so I can give those high fives and have that connection. But it definitely is different. It's a different connection as a principal than it is as a teacher in a classroom, and it is something that I definitely miss. But I do it. I find avenues to get into the classroom for two reasons. First, because I just enjoy that contact with the students and the relationship piece with working directly with students. But I think the second thing is, I think being in the classroom reminds me of just what our teachers go through day to day. And, it was a while ago, I was, that horrible biology experiment that went wrong. that was like that was like almost 2 decades ago. So like it's difficult. Like I think I sometimes think about how like when I'm not saying current and when I'm not saying in the classroom myself, you just forget what it's like. And so I think as a leader, I think being able to empathize with what our teachers are going through day to day is an important part of just being able to better serve the team.
I agree entirely because I mean I've heard that over and over and over again of like admin that haven't been in classrooms for quite a while, and then they have like an expectation or something they carry out because of a state mandate or whatever, and when you're not getting that direct experience and you are kind of removed and have it's almost like you almost have amnesia a little bit when you haven't been in the classroom a little bit, and then you're like, oh yeah, well just do this.
Yes.
And then your teacher's like, yeah, well I've done that 80 times and it doesn't work. So
I think for me too, like it just stuff changes, right? And so I think about like even just like what our teachers went through and experienced during COVID. I'm like, I don't like I've never taught a lesson on Google Classroom, and so like I had to like go through like and learn Google Classroom myself. Like, but like I think like there is an element of like the work that we do while there's commonalities in working with students. Stuff changes and evolves, and schools change and evolve, and so it's important as a leader, I believe, to like stay current on the current issues at hand.
Absolutely. Well, one more question, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll get into our fun game that we have.
Love it.
But so this one's actually for Brenna. So I want to know, what is one thing that TikTok doesn't know about Principal Lam?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's a good one.
We need the inside scoop.
Okay. We may or may not have revealed this actually. So it's so funny you were just talking about how much like you do miss the classroom, and I think that is true. We have 3 children, and Jared, they come home with a sizable amount of homework. Principal Lam does not often help them with their homework. That is actually true.
Principal Lam.
Oh no.
So when it comes to teaching at home, mommy tends to pick up more of those responsibilities. Okay,
he's like I do this all day.
Okay, so I use a lot of math in my job, and so this is also maybe this is too much. Okay, but when he did teach that 8th grade math class a few years ago, he would say like, "Hey, can you explain this to me?"
Listen, that's so relatable, though.
Look, it was either Google or my wife. I had to get the right answers.
Okay. Listen, can we normalize teachers not knowing everything under the sun?
I want to say
thank you. Thank you.
I was going to say you are not alone in this, because this was back when you were teaching at your other district.
Yes.
In the middle of the year, they collapsed her class and moved her to a different grade. So she had, at that time, she was teaching 2nd grade, had never taught 5th grade in her life. But
I was the only one licensed to be able to teach it.
Yes.
So they had to move me there. And I cried every day on my way to work for the rest of the year because I was so anxious about teaching math to 5th graders.
And I'll never forget, too, because they moved you up to 5th grade. You're like, I have to learn how to teach math. I don't remember how to do like fractions and stuff like that.
Right.
So you were on the phone with her one friend who lives out in California, like almost every night, being tutored in 5th grade math.
I don't even think, no, that wasn't even then, was it?
Yeah, that was then.
No, because I didn't have that friend then. Are you talking about Andy?
Oh, that was a different time.
That was a couple years ago, man.
Oh,
That was recent.
This is a repeat experience. Oh no.
No, so okay, a little bit of both. So like that year when I got moved to 5th grade, because I had only taught little kids, so I was like terrified. I'm like, oh my God, these are big kids. They're so big. And 5th grade math, like it's tricky because like the new strategies they use, you actually have to kind of reteach yourself. But I hadn't done any kind of 5th grade math in a minute.
Yeah.
So every day I would go into work, and the math coach for our district, she was like, don't worry, I'll help you. I'll come teach math with you every day. I was like, thank God, because I will be teaching these kids the wrong thing. And so she would come in my classroom every day, but there were some days when like her child would be sick or she couldn't make it to school or something. And I'd get that email on the way to work and it was like, sorry, I won't be able to be in today. You'll be fine. And I would be like, like, and so, but we made it. We got there. We were okay. And now that I actually do teach 5th grade math and I've been teaching it for, 6 years, it clicks more.
Yeah.
I've gotten to practice, but when I'm telling you that jump from like primary to upper elementary, it is a leap because I was terrified. And I honestly, that experience was like one of the best and worst in my teaching careers because at the moment it really sucked. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
But then that actually kind of sparked my love for working with older children. So now I've, switched.
That's awesome.
And I went to school for, PK3, got a 4.5 endorsement thinking, oh, I'm never going to use that. It just will look good on my resume. And then here I am, the majority of my career has been in upper elementary.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a happy accident. But yeah, I relate to that.
Okay, it's just to be really clear. If I had to teach that math to I think he had a group of 40 8th graders at the time.
Oh my God.
I would have had a full-blown panic attack. I would not have been able to do that. So absolutely
40?
insane respect for the ability to teach that content. That would be far beyond my skill set.
Oh no, I am exactly in that same boat. Like I think about like you teaching, Lauren, and everything, and I'm just like, I think I'd die. I think I'd walk into that classroom, I'd be in there for 5 minutes, and then my heart would just give out, and then just chaos.
I feel like at one point you even described it like you were like, me with 1 kid? All right, we'll survive. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
Me with 2 kids? It's getting dicey, but we'll be all right. 3 kids? That's 1 too many. Like, so I always think that's really funny because Jordan is like insanely smart in many different topics. And anytime I ask him to explain something to me, he gets so frustrated. Like if I don't understand it the first time and I'm like, you would be a horrible teacher. And he's like, I know.
So unrelatable. I definitely have never felt that way or acted in that way ever.
Because I feel bad because I know it's like an assumption and I'll explain something. And because like, especially like you'll ask things either it's like sometimes about like marketing or like design things or stuff like that. And I'll be like, oh, you just do this, and you explain it at such a high level because you're in it every day. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm talking to someone who has no idea what I'm talking about. And I use just every jargon term you could ever think of. And it's just over your head.
Yeah, that's been the kind of the experience this year is like because Jordan and we started a business and we're trying to build a platform for kids to learn financial literacy. So we're trying to thank you. We're working to build a gamified platform that'll make it like fun for them to learn that. And going from the education world to the business world is a whole nother ball game, and it just makes me feel so inferior sometimes. And like, I'm the CEO of the company and I have to go to these meetings and I'm like, yeah. I'm like boss babing it up, but like I have I'm just building this ship as we sail, people.
Yo.
I work with quite a few CEOs and like executives in my current role and across the course of my career. And I have to say that's what many of them do. Like that is what many of them do.
Thank you for that validation.
So like that is you are doing exactly what you need to do as the chief executive.
Awesome. Wow, I didn't know I was doing so well.
You're rocking.
Just speak with confidence and you got this.
I try to use some business lingo every now and then. And sometimes it sticks.
I know.
Awesome.
Sometimes I'm like, did that go okay? And sometimes I'm honest with people and I'm like, I've never done this before. Please talk to me like I am in 3rd grade because explain your business techniques and tactics like I'm a 9-year-old.
But that's how you're going to actually learn. If you don't ask questions, you're never going to learn.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's the one thing. It's hard. Like, we talk about kids like that don't want to participate. Well, adults don't either. It's hard when you have to admit that you don't know something. And it's hard when you have to ask somebody to explain something to you when you feel like you should already know it,
Well, I think that's the downside of not normalizing that at a younger age, because then you get into adulthood and then nobody wants to do that. Right. So then you're just kind of like, everybody's just like, all right, I guess we're all going to go out in the dark with this one and just hope like the best happens.
I try to do that a lot in my classroom. Like, that's the one thing I say over and over again. I'm like, I don't care if you're wrong. I just care if you try.
Love that.
Yes.
I'm not saying that works because I still have to it's like pulling teeth trying to get kids to raise their hands in class. And I get it, but it's, that's a universsul experience. It's not just something that kids experience, but it carries. So me too, kids, me too. But we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back to play a fun little game.
And we're back.
So we are going to play a little game of riddles called Riddle Me This.
All right.
Okay. So with the help of ChatGPT, our producer Rob has come up with 3 riddles for us to try and solve together. Okay. And they're not necessarily education related. So just there's
just riddles.
I stand a fighting
variety
chance.
of answers.
We got a couple non-educators working on this. So
Exactly. We felt that it was a bit unfair if we kept everything education and gave you guys a disadvantage.
I am losing challenge after challenge after challenge.
Yeah. So, and I've also been told that Principal Lam is horrible at riddles, but Brenna is very good at riddles.
I am.
See, now you set me up for absolute failure. No. Oh no, that was not helpful.
Wait, what if he cheated and he looked at all the riddles and the answers ahead of time?
No. I have no intel. I have no idea what's coming.
We played Clue last night, and he absolutely was low integrity in that context.
Oh, I like that. I like that describer.
Low integrity. The next time I play Monopoly with my dad, because my dad.
Oh, he skims off the top, man.
When I was growing, just to talk about low integrity, I love my dad. He listens to the podcast, and I'm airing this out now for everyone to hear. He would come up with this stupid rule when we would play Monopoly as a family that the banker took an interest rate from any transaction that required the use of the bank. So if you were like, oh, I need change. Oh, that's 10% comes to Monty Woolley. And I'm like, this, as I got older, I was like, what is this? You're cheating.
That's absolutely a low integrity move. And at the same time, I feel like very authentic to the sort of the experience of Monopoly.
Yes. Oh yeah, he was teaching a life lesson.
Yeah, that definitely is. It's pretty valid, pretty accurate. Let's just say we don't play board games with Monty anymore in the Woolley household.
Yeah,
or otherwise, if we do, we just are prepared to call him out on cheating. So there's 3 riddles. So each person's gonna get a riddle. So let's start with Jordan and put you in the hot seat first.
No,
I'll put your pineapple on the stove top first, or the grill. I don't know. I tried to make a pineapple joke.
I think you go like pineapple on the ham.
Okay, I'll put your pineapple on the ham first. Okay, riddle number 1.
Okay, riddle number 1.
You measure my life in hours, and I serve you by expiring. I'm quick when I'm thin and slow when I'm fat. The wind is my enemy.
Oh,
what am I?
Gosh, hold on. So, you measure my life in hours.
Yes.
What's the next part?
I serve you by expiring.
I serve you by expiring.
I'm quick when I'm thin.
I'm quick when I'm thin.
And slow when I'm fat.
Slow when I'm fat.
The wind is my enemy. I love being the one that doesn't have to figure out the riddle.
Yeah, you really positioned yourself well for this.
Yeah, you get to not look stupid. Because at first...
No, I just get the privilege of setting you all up to look intelligent.
Oh. Oh, gosh. Okay. I don't know why it infiltrated my mind when you said expire, and then I just started thinking of milk.
I went there too.
Okay, I'm not alone in this one.
Do you measure the life of milk in hours?
That's what threw me. I was like, you don't measure the life of milk in hours.
I mean, I guess you could. Like, how many hours until it expires?
Also, milk is not affected by the wind. Like, it's really weird.
I don't know. Have you ever had a glass of milk on a really windy day?
I have not. Thank you very much. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Final guess in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
I don't know.
3, 2, 1.
Weather?
Okay, you're guessing weather?
I throwing out weather just at a last minute buzzer beater.
That's wrong.
I figured.
All right, for the steal, does anyone want to try and guess what it is?
Is it a candle?
Ding, 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 ding! We have a winner!
That's a good one.
I told you.
Brenna is good at riddles. But that one makes sense. Okay,
It
you
does.
measure my life in hours.
Yes.
I serve you by expiring.
Yep.
I'm quick when I'm thin, so like thinner candles burn faster, and then slower candles are like larger ones. And the wind is their enemy.
Yeah.
It helped that
Very
you wrote
true.
it down. You should write it down again. That was really
that's
helpful.
I was
smart.
right.
Yeah, that was.
They had a strategy.
What am I going to write it with?
Really?
Air. I'm going to write it in the air.
It was a code strategy. He helped me.
This one looks a little bit more, I don't know, it's a longer one, so I'm assuming it's more challenging.
Oh no,
but
okay.
Good luck writing this one.
All right.
Okay. Riddle number 2. What word in the English language does the following? The first 2 letters signify a male. The first 3 letters signify a female. The first 4 letters signify a great, while the entire word signifies a great woman. What is the word as there's dog snores?
Oh no. The first 2 letters signify a male.
A male. The first 3 letters signify a female.
Okay.
The first 4 letters signify a great.
A great.
Like Great.
Okay, a great.
While the entire word signifies a great woman.
And this is one word in the English language.
Yes, one word.
Oh, goodness.
She's like, I need some time.
I know. This is so difficult. Immediately,
Yeah,
I
was like, this one is a hard one. I'm not going to lie. I would never get this one in a million years.
Yeah, this is so hard. Immediately, and now I'm stuck. I went to Mr. and Mrs. because MR and MRS, like Mr., like a male and a female, but I think I'm in the wrong direction with that. And then, of course, there's
That's a good connection, though, because I don't think I would have even gotten that far.
And then she and he, but unfortunately, that's like reversed because he is the male and she is the female. And so, like,
I think you should keep
going in that direction with he.
Yeah, I was going to say you're really close with that. And
her, and then there is
the first 4 letters signify a great.
A great, something great, like oh gosh.
And the entire word signifies a great woman.
Great woman. Oh, a hero. Oh, Principal Lam helps me. Okay, there we go. I don't call him that, by the way. I call him Heroine.
That's fine. Yeah, I keep calling him that, but I really should probably.
The word is heroine.
Yeah.
They're crushing you.
I'm all alone on an island over here.
It's not a competition. This is not a competition. We're all in this together.
We're all in this together. We're all in this
together. You got to do the dance. We're all in this together.
All right.
That was impressive. You got that so fast.
That was multiple assists.
That's okay, because I would have with the assists, I still would have been on the floor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even reached the net. Like, wouldn't have happened. All right, I'm gonna call you. It feels okay. It feels wrong calling a principal by their first name. But I'm gonna call you.
You may do it.
Your teachers call you.
I know. I call my own principal by her first name, but like it almost feels disrespectful to somebody else that I'm just meeting for the first time.
What broke my brain, and I cannot do it. So I work for a healthcare organization, and our CMO in a meeting was like, "Nobody call me doctor, call me by my first name." I cannot do it for the life of me.
I still call your CMO by his whole name.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
I'm just
doctor,
like,
I can't say it.
Cannot do it. I cannot.
I don't even know what his first name is.
George.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I could not look at him and say George.
That's our CEO. So our CMO is Angela now.
And, okay.
And it was just like, she was like, yeah, just call me by my first name. I was like, I don't know why. It just breaks my brain. It's like, I can't do it.
There's
like, I
too
feel
much schooling there. There's too much schooling. It's disrespectful to the education that has preceded that person.
Yes.
Yes. And like, okay, so like from that perspective, like, okay, I don't get mad at kids when they call me by my first name. Like they never do, but like some, when they find out your first name, they always want to say it. So they'll be like, I know what your name is. I'm like, what? And they're like, Lauren. I'm like, yep, that's my name. and then like, they're like, well, you're not mad? I'm like, well, no, like that's my actual name. Like, but, and then I just explained to them, like, it's just like a respect thing. That's why you call teachers by your last name. But
I shared an Instagram story once that was it was a message that I had sent out to our faculty and staff. And I sign a lot of my communications to the faculty and staff, I sign it Jared. And so like I had someone on the internet was like, that is so unprofessional that you would say Jared and not sign your name Principal Lam. And I was like, get a life.
Yeah.
Jared. It's my name. And I'll say what I want. That's okay. I get the unprofessional comments too about like my hair or having a nose ring. And they're like, well, bet you can't teach. I'm like, well, my kids get the highest test scores in the county. So
yes, I can.
Impact your teaching ability.
I don't know. Apparently to some people it does. But yeah.
The wrong thing.
Whatever. Yeah, not the right thing to worry about. Anyway. All right, Jared.
Let's go.
Riddle number 3. I come from a mine and get surrounded by wood. Everyone uses me. What am I?
A mine surrounded by wood. Everyone uses me. Coal?
To be fair, my first guess was like a pickaxe. Like, who uses a pickaxe but like miners?
Yeah.
Okay, I might be totally wrong, but is it a pencil?
You're almost there. It's pencil lead.
Oh, there. Everyone uses me as a pencil.
That was school related. I should have got that one.
Yeah.
It was just surrounded by wood,
Yeah. See, like I think too literally about riddles. Like I can't put, which I guess would make it should make me better at riddles, but it doesn't. Like, I don't know. I have been okay with the fact that I suck at riddles, and that's just fine. So, anywho, Brenna gets the gold medal for the riddle game because she just schooled all of us.
Yeah.
But anywho, this was so fun, and I'm so glad you guys came on the show today, and we appreciate everything that you do for our educators and everything you do to put administrators in a positive light. And I would love to keep in touch, especially since I'm going to be, finishing up my second degree. I'm going to have all the questions. So
yeah, Jordan and Lauren, thank you so much for having us. This has actually been a blast. And
awesome. Good.
We would love to come back anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to have you back. All right, guys, we will be right back.
I'm a little pineapple.
Were you going to continue that song?
I'm a sexy little pineapple.
Oh my gosh, you guys, what am I going to do with him? Anywho, I'm so glad I got to meet Principal Lam because I and Brenna, like they are great.
They're such lambs.
They are lambs. I want to go visit them.
Yes.
Okay, one, because I've never been to New Orleans. I would love to go.
That'd be really cool.
And
they're in Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah, but like we could totally make like a little journey out of it.
Yeah.
I would love that. Let's do it. Follow Principal Lam. All of his socials are Principal_Lam, and he just launched a new YouTube channel.
Yeah, go check it out.
What video did he just post? Because you were like, I did that.
I was to say, the polar plunge is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. He was very brave, and he jumped into an ice cold pool in the middle of winter because he got more subscribers.
You know what is coming up?
What?
Registration for the Pittsburgh polar plunge.
And I will be standing on the sidelines ready to videotape you jumping into ice cold water.
And it is a blast. And you know I'm going to do it.
And I will bundle up and stand there and watch you be cold.
Okay, fine.
That is totally fine.
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
One of these days, I'm going to get you to do it.
Hey, I did participate in that ice bucket challenge like many moons ago.
We are not the same.
I'm not saying those are the same thing, but that's a big deal for me because I hate the cold.
Okay. Well, you know what? I will give you points on that then.
Okay. So I'm excited for all of the Bonds every week because I just love hearing your stories. But
what about James Bond?
Yeah. He's cool.
I was just checking. You said you liked all the Bonds.
I also I had some bonds like growing up, and then I could cash them in before I got married for money. Those kind of bonds are cool.
Those are nice bonds. Those give you money.
Yeah, those ones grow somewhat. Do they still do those?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a core function of our economy is the bond market.
Well, I just have not personally purchased a bond for any reason. So I don't know. I just knew I had them growing up.
You have a retirement account, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know how people would give you actual bonds in your name? Okay, when I was a baby, people gifted those as a birthday gift for a 1-year-old or
usually a 10-year bond.
Something like that. Or mine, I feel like they didn't have any kind of date. They would only expire if your name changed, which was when we got married. I had to cash. My mom gave me all the bonds I had to cash in because I was changing my name.
They didn't have an expiration date?
I didn't think so. No, I was able to cash them. I think some do for sure, but
this
I don't know.
This is a really specific topic.
It is, and we should. I'm gonna go research bonds now.
Okay. We're turning the ship here a little bit.
Let's just skirt the other way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the podcast market niche for bond talk is absolutely huge.
I bet you it is. We are building a financial literacy platform.
Yeah, but so our special bond this week comes from Tinsley. All right. I have a really good relationship with my middle school orchestra teacher. Here's the full story. So I started in 6th grade and joined orchestra since I wanted to learn how to play the violin.
Same. Fun fact, I actually I have this thing where I hyperfixate on stuff for a hot minute. And once upon a time when I was 19, I wanted to learn how to play the violin at 19 years old. And I bought this cheap electric violin off Amazon, which it actually did work. And then I watched some YouTube videos and taught myself how to play hot cross buns, and that is the extent of my violin career.
Wow.
Yes.
Regular
Lindsey Sterling.
Yes. I was going to say Lacey, so Lindsey
Nope,
Sterling.
Lindsey Sterling. Yep.
Regular Lindsey Sterling over here, everyone. Look at her
Back
go.
to Tinsley.
I joined in our teacher, Mr. R. He was very kind to all of us, and he told dad jokes. Flash forward. I love dad jokes. Flash forward to 8th grade, I realized towards 2nd semester that I was non-binary and pansexual. And since I felt safe in my orchestra class, I wrote a letter to Mr. R, which was me coming out to him. He emailed me and said he was honored that I trusted him with that information and that he would be there to support me no matter what. I'm a freshman in high school now, and I try to visit him as much as I can. I'm so glad I got to join orchestra and have him as my teacher. I'm still in orchestra to this day.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
I mean, I think it's so important for teachers to create a safe space for all students. So I'm really glad that your orchestra teacher made you feel safe and seen for the person that you are. And I love that so much for you. I wish that every student, no matter, what you are or who you are, has that kind of person in your life that loves and accepts you unconditionally. So thank you, Tinsley, for sharing that.
Yeah,
I really
absolutely.
appreciate that.
No, that was awesome.
And I remember when I was in 8th grade, we didn't have an orchestra.
Yeah.
But we did have some kids that I went to school with that played like orchestra instruments. Like I know there was one girl that we went to school with that played like 4 different instruments, and she would always bring her violin and her like I think she played cello maybe, and I think clarinet and something else. She would always bring her violin and stuff to school, and I thought it was so impressive. Like I don't know why I grew up wanting to play an instrument, but never actually really truly learning how to play an instrument. Fun fact, I took piano lessons for 8 years. No, it wasn't that long. I don't know, something like that. 5 to 8 years.
Okay.
And I still don't, I could read music, but I can't like sit down in front of pianos with sheet music and play it. So my piano teacher, he used to, like when he would introduce a new piece of music to me, I would be like, oh, can you play it first so I could hear it? He'd be like, yeah, sure. So he would play the piece, and then he would give me like a few of the bars to learn for the next week or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would go home, and instead of actually like reading the sheet music like I should have been doing, I would pick out the notes by ear because he had played it for me already. So I cheated.
Cheater.
But I learned some piano pieces like that, and so I can play a handful of things.
So,
but
because I can read music, like I played in band and everything. I know how to read music. I play multiple instruments and everything. I can say now, like as an adult, if I'm learning a new song, it's all by ear. Like I don't like. It's been years, years since I've read a piece of music.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of anyone that can do that. Like utmost respect for all musicians out there. Awesome. Well,
all right.
Let us know how the show is, guys. I hope you're enjoying it. We really appreciate you guys for not only listening, if you've gotten this far into the episode, thank you so much
thank you.
for being here. And also, I want to hear how we're doing. So make sure that you guys leave comments. Make sure that you send us emails if you have suggestions for guests that you might want to have.
Challenges.
Yes.
So that I am not the only one that's dressed up like a pineapple.
Or challenges so that Jordan is always the only one dressed up like a pineapple. And I feel sad for those of you that are listening to this and not actually witnessing this on YouTube. If you are listening but haven't seen the imagery that is Jordan as a pineapple,
please at least for
watch.
Me. Yeah, just go watch it too, just because you gotta see it.
Anyway, you can reach out to us on TikTok and Instagram at Human Content Pods, or you can send us emails directly at hello@wearefinepod.com. And don't forget, my YouTube channel is Mrs. Woolley in 5th. So you can check it out there. Full episodes are there, including our episodes where we hang out with Egbert, and you get to see Egbert. Egbert Jr. And then what was the second egg? What was his name?
There was Egbert. There's
Egbert Jr. is the third one.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember.
I'm forgetting our egg child's name.
Egbert number 2. Now we're going to have to figure it out.
He was the Waffle King. Waffles O'Brien.
Yes.
Gosh.
How could we forget Waffles O'Brien?
How could you forget? I totally remembered. And I did not need Rob to come in and tell me what it was. Are you kidding me?
Thank you for listening. We're your hosts, Lauren and Jordan Woolley.
Special thanks to our guests, Jared and Brenna Lam,
aka Principal Lam. And also, you can follow them at Principal_Lam and all of his amazing administrator content. Even if you're not an administrator or an educator, because it's just nice to see good things in education.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Especially when they're on wheels.
That's true. And carts. Carts are important. Our executive producers are Lauren and Jordan Woolley,
Aaron Corney,
Rob Goldman,
and Shanti Brooke.
Our editor is Andrew Sims.
Our engineer is Jason Portizo.
And our music is by Omer Bensby.
To learn about our program disclaimer and ethics policy and submission verification and licensing terms, you can go to our website at wearefinepod.com, or you can reach out to us at hello@wearefinepod.com with any questions or concerns.
This podcast discusses sensitive and challenging topics, including mental health and personal struggles. If you're in crisis or need someone to talk to, please reach out to the suicide hotline at 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You are not alone.
We Are Fine is a human content production.
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you.
Hey.
I love that shirt you're wearing.
And you know what would go great with that shirt?
What?
A nice big virtual hug. And you can get that by hitting some of these buttons down here. Subscribe, like, comment. We'll give you a big old virtual hug.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.